Marla has bought and sold many businesses for the last 20 years and has learned that many businesses owners are disappointed by the value of the businesses when they sell it. They're left frustrated and disillusioned by the whole process, and she aims to change that by making the owners, their needs, and their emotional value integral and crucial to the selling process. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give a virtual round of applause to Marla. I think you might need to unmute yourself. There you are.
Okay. All right. Hi. I'm going to talk about the value of emotion in business. Now, how do all of you view emotion in business? Do you think it should be avoided at all costs, or do you feel there is a value in emotions? Now, so what do I mean by emotions? Now, emotions can be reactions to internal thoughts, memories, desires, or events that occur in our environment. Now, who's watched the Disney movie Inside Out? Yeah. Now, definitely one for the grown-ups, but you will see the 5 basic emotions shown. That's joy, sadness, disgust, anger, and fear or panic. But as the movie progresses, you also see that the emotions get more complicated and interact with each other. And what it shows us is that as we go through life, our experiences color the way we view things, and something that was once only joyful can start to create a more complex emotional response. Now, some of the most diverse emotions are always present in any business setting, but they're especially heightened in any transaction that involves a family business. You really have a special pride in the businesses you've created, and you may think that you know what your business is worth, but do you really? Now, privately held business owners also use the business for non-financial goals, such as providing employment for all their family, regardless of qualifications, or for their own self-esteem, or for their community. And selling a business is a deeply emotional experience, and it is easy to feel a sense of bereavement. Now, but how does that impact the price of a business when they decide to sell? I should know, because I completed the sale of our family business 2 weeks ago for the same price that a buyer refused to pay for it last year. And I promise you, there were lots and lots of tears, loads. There's always a difference between the value a buyer puts on a business and what the business owner thinks that it should be worth. Now, 2 guys, forgive me for this, called Joseph Astrakhan and Peter Jaskowicz, I hope that's right, have actually come up with a formula. And their formula is that the total value of a business is the sum of the financial value and the emotional value. Now, financial value is simple. It is the financial performance of the company, and usually based on a variety of valuation methods, which I won't go into. The problem is the emotional value. Now, emotional value is dependent on 2 things. There's emotional return, and this is what the owner gets from the business. It's what we have, why we have pride in what we do. So if you own a family business, you will immediately understand what I'm talking about. Emotional cost, on the other hand, is things like family conflicts and group dynamics, health issues, or having no successor. So what is not really a surprise is that the true value of the business only comes close to the financial value when the emotional cost is greater than the emotional return. But most buyers only focus on the financial value and don't give any relevance at all to the emotional value. In this last year, emotional intelligence in a very general sense and mental health in particular have been very important. But buyers don't seem to have any emotional intelligence. And I know this is a broad, sweeping statement, but all of you here have a real vested interest in your business. You put a lot of sweat equity into it, and if it were to be valued, especially by a broker, the figure that comes back would be far less than expected, or perhaps even highly inflated. Now, brokers themselves tell us that most businesses sell for only 70% of their listed price. So, How do we start buying businesses without the sellers feeling like they're being raped and pillaged, and their vision for the businesses they've worked so hard for to be casually discarded like a tissue used to catch a sneeze? I start by discussing their emotional returns first, the things that give them their own sense of place in the world, their own identity. And then I look at the emotional cost to them and their loved ones. It doesn't just affect the business owner. And this is the hardest part because most family owners don't consider selling unless there is a big emotional cost to them. Once I've done that, it's only then that I start to talk about the financial value. For all of you here, what emotional value would you place on your businesses? What has your business given you and what has it taken away? Because we know for all the emotional returns you've had from your business, there are always plenty and plenty of emotional costs. Now, if you're looking to sell your business, would you want your emotional value to be considered? Or do you think that this is a purely financial transaction? If you want the former, you can call me or email me or visit my website or to take an emotional value diagnostic or even just to read about it. However, if it's a simple financial transaction for you, then there are many buyers out there who you can talk to. But it still helps to deal with someone who will treat you like a human being first and a business second. Thank you.
Well done. Brilliant. Let's give a virtual round of applause. Yay. So my business is valued emotionally at about £1 billion. So I look forward to discussing the purchase with you. So let's take a second, just write in the comments what's our takeaway from that. Juliet, get ready, please. You're up next. What did you take away from Marla's talk? And Marla, do you want to put your contact details in the chat room? Because I'm not sure otherwise how people might email you or get in touch with you to discuss such things. But I think, and how much, as someone that buys businesses, Marla, this would be a good question for you. How much does the strength of the brand play a part in your buying decision?
Brands have an intellectual property value and goodwill value. So, which is why Nike and Amazon would sell for millions, because you're buying the following and the people who go behind it. So it does play a part, but that is part of the financial value.
Right.
That's not part of the emotional value. The emotional value is why are you selling? So what is it costing you at the moment? What aren't you getting out of the business that you need to get out? So, somebody could come and buy you, you're not ready to sell, and that's a different aspect. But people who are selling have a reason to sell.